In the last video of this series, we created this number here and its background. Now we're going to create some text, and I know for the first name, I want the same font that this number has. So I'm just going to take this text node here and press Control C, click somewhere around here, press Control V to paste that in, and let's connect this up to the merge. And what I want to do is preview that merge, and we're going to have the same exact thing, which we don't need. So I'm going to select text here. First of all, let's make the size a bit smaller, and we can move it. Still a bit big. Let's make that smaller. And let's adjust the color a bit here. So I'm going to go into shading, and we've got a gradient. I want it to be a little bit brighter. So I'm going to take this yellow and make it a really saturated yellow. And also I'm going to adjust the angle. And you can see as I adjust the angle, we are getting gradients on the individual letters. Let's change this from mapping level character. Let's set this to text. And now when we adjust the angle, we'll get something like that. All right, that's better. It is blending into the background. So let's fix that up. I'm going to go to the next one here. This red outline, you can actually change this name if you want. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to adjust the thickness. I don't want these rounded edges, so I'm going to click over here. That gives us a sharper edge. Let's go to color, drop this little arrow down, darker, and we can adjust the position, offset on the X. You don't want to go too far or else you're going to see the holes there. Offset on the Y by clicking and dragging in here. And if you do see the holes a little bit, we can try to fill that in. Let's go to thickness and go to 0.3 just for a really large shape. And then we could drag this down to suit our needs. And at the top here, let's call this dark red outline. Now let's click on style number 3, black shadow, enable that. We can't see anything. So let's click on position, and on this priority, let's start dragging this over. We don't want to drag it so far it's over our original letters. At this point, it's between the dark red and the letters. Adjust the settings here. Let's take the softness down on the X, on the Y. Let's click on this color, drop that down, give us a really bright red look to it. Maybe something like that. So let's scroll down here and adjust the offset X and the offset Y a little bit here. For the last name, I'm going to take this one, do a Control C, click somewhere over here, Control V, and I should be naming these two, but let's go quickly here. Drag the output of that node to the merge down here and press 2 to preview that, and let's select our text, move it down. So with our text selected, we could change our font. I got this font free. It's Danger on the Motorway. It is most likely from defont.com. Let's switch it up a little bit here. I'm going to click on the text, go to transform, click on shear, and we could shear it on the X. I just wanted to line up with the angle of the previous font. Maybe the size is a bit big, and maybe it's a little tall here also. So I'm going to go to size, and I'm going to specifically scale down the size on the Y, get this in place. And in the shading, let's click on number 2 here. These dark red outlines, take the thickness down a bit. I could also scroll down here and expand position if I need to. Click and drag in here on the offset X and Y to get it to look how you want. This color is kind of blending into the background, so I might just click and drag down here and make this black. Also, I don't know if I need the gradient for the original text, so I'm going to scroll back up here under this one here, set this to solid color. Let's click this arrow and just make this a very bright yellow. And then obviously, we don't need two first names that are the same, so... And because these kind of look like lights, I want to make a bit of a glowing effect. So making sure this is selected, I'm going to go back into shading. We did 1, we did 2, we did 3. Let's go to 4, enable this. I don't want this background solid shape here. I'm going to click this one here, text fill. Under softness, I'm going to drag the X and the Y out a bit. And I'm going to click the eyedropper. Eyedrop over this color here, and it's kind of subtle, but right underneath the softness we have this glow setting. We could bring this up, and now I think this black background is a bit too much. Let's rename this so we know what it is. Start glow. We should rename this one also red shadow, dark shadow, and make it not quite so dark. So we have all our elements set up. We can't forget that we are hiding something, and we can just turn it on by dragging the output of this drop shadow onto the merge. But in the next video, we can get this animated